So occasionally I get asked on stream what platforms I'm using and what prop firms I recommend. So I figured instead of just answering that on stream every time and then having to explain why every time, I should just make this video. Because there is a bit more to it than just name dropping two prop firms and letting you run off and do your own research. So that's the goal of this video today, to explain the two prop firms that I'm affiliated with, which are Lucid and Alpha Futures. And I want to go over why I specifically chose these two prop firms to be affiliated with and the two main prop firms that I push to people, what each of them are actually good at, because that will actually impact which one you end up choosing as a trader. These two different firms solve two kind of problems, if you want to put it that way, and they're going to be suited to slightly different traders just in terms of where you're at in your trading journey. So let's get into it. Just a quick bit of context first. I trade ES futures during the New York AM session, specifically with volume profile and a little bit of order flow. So some of the things you'll see me recommend in this video are specifically through that lens. If you are trading in a completely different way, then some of the stuff I will talk about in this video for these prop firms will still apply to you, but specifically the MotiveWave stuff through Lucid, that is going to apply definitely to the volume profile order flow based traders. So just to make you aware of that going in. Anyway, let's start off with Lucid. So the reason that I use Lucid, which you might not expect, and I just alluded to it just then, is that they actually are partnered with MotiveWave. So MotiveWave is a professional order flow based platform that you can get for a very cheap price with Lucid for a one-time fee. Normally, MotiveWave is going to cost you about $49 per month, but I went through Lucid and I got it through them for a one-time fee. So I paid a one-time fee for an account, which is one of the benefits of Lucid, is they are not the only prop firm, but definitely one of the big prop firms that only charges you a one-time fee for your accounts. So I paid a one-time fee for a Rhythmic account through MotiveWave, and then I just chart on MotiveWave and I execute my trades on whatever other platform my other accounts are on. I do have some TopStep funded accounts, so I am currently trading them on TopStep X, and I'm just trying to get done with TopStep as soon as possible, so I'm just kind of trading those funded accounts until I lose them or take all of my profit out of them, because as most people in the space know, TopStep over the years has gone pretty downhill, so that's why I only really promote Lucid and Alpha Futures, even though I am technically using TopStep. But yeah, just to be fully transparent there, if I was coming into the prop firm space for the first time, or even if I was just buying a new account and looking to start building some more funded accounts, which I will be doing in the future, Lucid and Alpha Futures, specifically Alpha Futures for me, we'll get to why that is later on, but those are the firms that I would be looking to build my accounts with. So Lucid, like I said, we get the insane deal of being able to get MotiveWave for a one-time fee that is about $60, I believe it was, and that's with data fees and everything included. I've been trading with MotiveWave on stream for quite some time now. And in case I didn't explain it well enough before, MotiveWave is a professional order flow based platform where I can get access to tick data, which will make my volume profile analysis more accurate, and give me access to other order flow tools like the bubbles, the big trades, which I have also come to love. So yeah, volume and order flow traders, this is really a no-brainer for you. If you are still currently trading on TradingView, I would highly recommend you look into MotiveWave through Lucid. That is all the volume profile order flow stuff. The rest of this video is going to be applicable to anyone. And with that, let's get to the Lucid accounts. They offer very, very competitive accounts. Like I said, it's a one-time payment, so you're only going to pay a one-time fee. There is no other costs involved with Lucid at all, no activation fee, nothing like that. You pay once for the eval, you are not rebilled at the end of every month, and because of that, it is a very, very good prop firm for beginner traders, for traders that are trying to be more cost-effective. They don't want to be getting billed and bleeding money at the end of every month in eval costs, and even traders that just want to take it slow, maybe practice a new strategy, something like that, building some data for a new strategy, using an evaluation so it has a little bit more of a meaning than just a paper trading account. And yeah, they have very good rules. Specifically, I prefer the flex accounts just because, one, they're cheaper, two, the rules are a little bit more flexible, as the name suggests. But the Pro has become a good option and is their flagship sort of account. You can see the rules all here, and then they have funded rules as well, so you can kind of read through all them and get a bit of an idea for what the accounts look like. Here's the same for the flex account. Like I said, the Flex account is cheaper and a little bit more forgiving when it comes to the rules, which is why I tend to recommend that one. I do prefer it. And since I do see Lucid as a very beginner-friendly prop firm, makes sense that the easier evaluation and the cheaper evaluation is also going to be the one that people are going to prefer. They do also offer Lucid Direct, which is their instant funding accounts. I don't really mess around with instant funding accounts. Maybe I will more in the future. And they also have Lucid Live, which is, of course, their live program, which basically every prop firm has nowadays. But yeah, the main things I focus on at Lucid is the MotiveWave access, the one-time fee, the cheap costs, beginner-friendly firm, and they're a very open and honest prop firm. Their CEO is very active in their Discord, answering questions left, right, and center, and just dispelling any misleading information that might be out there. So that's enough about Lucid. Now we'll move on to Alpha Futures, which is my preferred prop firm out of these two, just for my situation specifically, and we'll go over why that is. So we'll cut straight to the chase with Alpha Futures. There is one rule in particular that makes them such a strong prop firm in my eyes, and it is this one, the max loss limit done right. So as they state in here, in the futures prop firm space, the rule of seeing your max loss limit get pushed all the way to zero after your first payout has become far too accepted in the space, and Alpha Futures are not a fan. So what they offer, and I'm not seeing any other prop firm in the industry as far as I'm aware, Alpha Futures are the only ones that offer this. You do not need to build a buffer before you take a payout, but more importantly, when you do take a payout, your max loss limit isn't going to be jammed all the way up to zero. And this is obviously a very powerful thing for this firm to offer, because a lot of other prop firms, they may not require you to build a buffer. Lucid is one of these firms. Lucid don't require you to build a buffer on your account, I don't believe, before you take a payout. But your max loss limit is going to get moved to zero after you take that first payout. And that means that taking that first payout before you have even built a buffer, whether the prop firm allows it or not, it is going to essentially kill that account, because you're going to massively reduce your wiggle room, your remaining drawdown left on that account. Let's say you get funded and build an account to $400 into profit, and then you want to take a $200 payout. With any other prop firm, you will take that $200 payout, you will have $200 of profit remaining, and your max loss limit will get moved to zero. So practically, you only have $200 of drawdown left before you blow that account. With Alpha Futures, you take that $200 payout, your max loss limit is not moved to zero, it will just stay wherever it was. For simplicity's sake, we'll just say your max loss limit was at $2,000. So you take a $200 payout, your max loss limit would then be $1,800. Way better than the $200 that any other prop firm would leave you with. So yeah, I don't really need to say much else about Alpha Futures. I will, just to tell you a bit more about them, but that is their main selling point, especially for me. And that is why I prefer them personally out of Lucid and Alpha Futures. I just love that payout policy so much. I think it's something that the space really needs to see more of. But beyond that, their pricing is fairly competitive. My personal favorite is the Alpha Futures Zero plan. After you use a discount code, and code KAICAP will get you a discount code on both Lucid and Alpha Futures. Like I said, I'm affiliated with these prop firms, but I do believe in them. So you can get a 50k account with no activation fee for around $90. They'll run discounts anywhere from 10% to 20%. Recently, they did a 50% discount, which is the largest I've seen them do, and I don't imagine they'll do one like that for a while again. So I would say if the discount is 20%, then it is a very good time to get an account with Alpha Futures. If it's 10%, you can still consider getting it. You're not obviously going to lose that much money, but if you see 20%, that's typically as high as they go. So yeah, the Zero plan is the recommended account from me. You definitely don't want to be messing around with the standard account because the profit split is absolutely horrendous. The advanced plan is okay, but it is very, very difficult, hence why it is the advanced plan, and it's also more expensive. So the Zero plan is going to fit 99% of the traders out there, in my opinion. It is the one that I would personally be using. I do have an evaluation that I'm trying to get past right now with Alpha Futures, so then I can start showcasing that beautiful payout policy. They also offer resets on your funded account. If you blow the account, then you can reset it for a big fee. This is something they introduced recently, and it kind of reminds me of Top Step. I feel like Top Step were one of the early ones to offer funded resets. Don't know how much of a fan I have of them, because obviously you've got to pay a pretty hefty fee to reset it, but the option's there. It's not like you're forced to reset the account. But yeah, this prop firm, honestly, in my eyes, is up there with like what Top Step used to be when Top Step was at the top of its game. Potentially even better. Like I say, that payout policy is just such a good feature that has flown under the radar for so long. I'd have no idea why people don't pay more attention to it. Pretty much the only negative, and it's not really that much of a negative, of Alpha Futures is it's a little bit more on the expensive side. Not terribly, it is still competitively priced, but it is slightly higher than the average 50k account, I would say, and it is going to be rebilled monthly. So I recommend this prop firm to people that are starting to try and scale with their prop firm accounts. Like I said, Lucid is the more beginner-friendly prop firm in my eyes, and this is the more intermediate to advanced trader suited prop firm. I should also mention, just before we end the video, that Alpha Futures is backed by Alpha Capital. Alpha Capital is one of the big dogs in the CFD space, and they're London-based. They're a very, very reliable firm. As you can see on here, it says brought to you by Alpha Capital Group. So yeah, this is definitely also a firm that is suited towards the traders that are looking long-term, and they're thinking, ooh, I don't really want to be putting my money into a firm that just kind of popped out of nowhere, and I don't know if it's going to be here in 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line. Alpha Futures, I do believe, is going to be here to stay and is here for the long term. Lucid, I hope it will be around for a long time, but it did kind of just pop out of nowhere. It's not really backed by any big group like Alpha Capital Group, so there is that element to consider as well, but I am confident that Lucid is here to stay. Like I say, I hope they are here to stay, but if we're talking about facts, then Alpha Futures, you can absolutely trust it 100%, in my opinion. Like I said, these firms aren't really competing against each other, at least from my perspective. They solve different problems. They are not something where it's like, I'm a Lucid trader, fuck everyone else. I'm an Alpha Futures trader, fuck everyone else. If that's how you treat the prop firm game and you're very tribalistic in your approach to prop firms, then you're doing it wrong. Most of these prop firms are great at 1 or 2 specific things. If those 1 or 2 specific things are what you are looking for in a prop firm, then bang, you found your winner. Links for both of these prop firms will be in the description and in the comments section. Like I said, use code KAICAP and you will get the best discount on these prop firms that they are currently running. If you've got any questions about either of the firms, feel free to drop them in the comments too, and I will do my best to reply to them. And I've also done specific videos on each of these prop firms in the past, so if you want more detail about either of these firms, then I would suggest you go and check out those videos. That is all I've got for you boys in this video. I will wish you good luck, good trading. Catch you later, boys.